Right now on Wood TV 8, celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
From the vivid artwork you'll see in downtown Grand Rapids to the flair and flavor you'll find in our kitchens.
We celebrate West Michigan's deep Hispanic roots. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Susan Shaw.
And I'm Brian Sterling. We'll start by putting the spotlight on educator and Hispanic activist Morelia Ortiz Blakely, who's known to many as Molly. Molly left a lasting legacy in Grand Rapids' Hispanic community. She helped organize the city's first Mexican festival more than 5 decades ago.
Molly's legacy is recognized with a mural in downtown Grand Rapids. News 8's Ruben Juarez spoke to her son and a close friend to learn more about her impact.
Morelia Ortiz Blakely overcame many obstacles throughout her life. She left a legacy that can be seen on the mural and felt in the community. High in the sky, Molly's image can be seen on this mural in downtown Grand Rapids.
I've always been very proud of my mom, what she's accomplished, what she's gone through to accomplish.
A recent gathering celebrating Molly's legacy and the completion of the mural. Local artist Arturo Morales Romero spending 65 hours to complete the 50-foot high mural.
Beyond words, seeing the mural.
Long before she was a celebrated figure in GR, the Beeville, Texas native had a rough childhood. Her parents died by the time she was 6, Molly, and her siblings were sent to an orphanage in San Antonio. Her aunt eventually adopted the kids.
Very influential in my mom's, I think, later on in life, as far as the importance of education, the importance of religion, the importance of her culture more than anything else.
Culture, a source of pride for Molly, whose mother was Mexican-American. Molly co-founded Grand Rapids Mexican Festival in the late 1960s.
But my mom saw it in a whole different perspective. He said, we got to bring this out to the community. We got to expand our vision, and expand the horizons, I guess you could say, about the Mexican culture, and start, tearing down all the barriers that exist between Mexicanos and their language and their custom and things of that nature.
Back then, there was a small celebration mostly attended by the city's Mexican population. The present-day festival is a 3-day event featuring numerous performers and drawing thousands of visitors. A high school dropout, Molly decided to hit the books. She earned her GED while working and raising her kids as a single mother.
Her father, Arthur Blake, had always told her that education is a key to success or the future, even way back in the 30s and 40s.
The GED wasn't enough. She then attended Grand Valley State University.
A little unsettling, 47, 48 women going back to school with college students. But she did it, stuck with it, and completed her degree in social work.
Her involvement with the Hispanic community wasn't limited to the festival.
She always wanted to help kids, just wanted to help the community. And so she worked in the Hispanic Center, in different other areas, providing help and assistance to the needy.
Immediately, I felt, wow, this woman there's a force about Molly.
Former Wood TV Community Affairs Director Eva Aguirre Cooper met Molly on the job at a homeless shelter Molly ran for migrant workers.
But Molly always had a way of okay, this is what we have to do. This is important. She would always rally the troops, rally the community. Eva, tenemos que hacer esto, we have to do this and that.
That was Ruben Juarez reporting. Coming up a little later in the show, Ruben will introduce us to the artist behind Molly's mural.
The Grand Rapids Public Library celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month with a focus on educating kids with both in-person and virtual programs. One includes story times with readings in both English and Spanish. News 8's Dana White spoke with officials about their hope this unique opportunity will help people take away a sense of inclusion.
Le respondió Ishel, no voy a usar hilo.
We're hoping that these are programs that can be enjoyed by everybody, and not just during Hispanic Heritage Month, but we're hoping that our programs become, more accessible to everybody throughout the year.
A time to both celebrate and educate.
We wanted to highlight some stories that are by Latinx people and about them.
Madison Perrion is the manager of the Ottawa Hills branch of the Grand Rapids Public Library. Throughout September and October, the library is hosting bilingual story times, also known as Vamos a Leer.
It's a community partner and a library staff member reading the same book in English and Spanish simultaneously.
The program is virtual and hosted on the library's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Perrion says she wants it to serve as a learning point for not just those in the Latinx community.
I'm hoping that there's an educational component there for white folks, for people who do not identify as Latinx, to learn more about these customs and traditions and culture, and to feel more engaged with that.
While at the same time giving those who do identify as Latinx a sense of belonging.
I think there's also a piece of it that we want folks who identify as Latinx to see themselves represented in these programs, to be a part of the discussion, and to have things that celebrate their culture.
There are some changes coming to a couple of streets in the city of Grand Rapids to honor civil rights icons, and that includes Granville Avenue, which runs from Weston to Clyde Park. Granville Avenue will be renamed Cesar Y. Chavez Avenue. Franklin Street will become Martin Luther King Street. Grand Rapids City Commissioners voted unanimously for these changes earlier this week. It was spearheaded by Robert S. Womack and Lupe Ramos Montini, leaders in the city's Black and Hispanic communities.
It was a dream come true. It was a time to celebrate. It was a time when the 21 years that I had been waiting for this moment was going to become a reality.
And those streets will officially take their new names in February. We have a lot more to get to, including a look at the culture and history behind Hispanic music and food.
Coming up after the break, we're talking with two local chefs about the importance of passing down tradition through flavor and flair.
Stay with us. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. Food is a big part of every culture, and local chefs are making sure they continue to pass down their traditions.
News 8's Whitney Burney spoke to chefs in the area about the importance of preserving recipes and flavors from their ancestors.
Chef Oscar Moreno at Mexo Grand Rapids can talk about food all day.
One of the interesting things about the chiles, and when they're fresh, it's called one name. When they're dry, change the name.
The dishes that get him most excited, though, are those from ancient Mexico.
Corn is one of the basics of pre-Hispanic cuisine, or until now, the Mexican cuisine. But the mission of the restaurant is to show you and rescue a lot of those ingredients that were used in pre-Hispanic times.
It's the reason you'll find historic dishes like rock soup on the menu.
This one is basically seafood. It's one of the dishes that the men will cook in Mexico. Basically, everything is raw. And then he will collect like river rocks over the fire. And when the kids and the family are ready to eat, he will drop the rock and cook the soup. And then lunch is ready. There you go.
Why is it so important to you to preserve that history?
Not only for the cultural side, but also the health benefits.
Across town at El Granjero, it's all about preserving family tradition.
We are from Mexico City. I also lived in Baja California before coming to Grand Rapids in 2005. And when some of the neighbors took us to a restaurant because we missed Mexican food, it was somewhere that it wasn't authentic.
So when Paula Mandeville's mother, Mercedes, had the opportunity, she took over the restaurant in 2007.
My mother had very humble beginnings. When she didn't continue her education and got married young and had children young, when it came to the time to find a job, she found it at a restaurant. And she started washing dishes.
One of the fan favorites, a recipe from the head chef's mother, in frijoladas.
It's one of the things that's been passed through generations. And, a lot of people like it here. It's topped with chorizo and queso fresco.
With each meal, these chefs say they hope the community feels like a part of their family.
I think in our culture, we love to eat, we love food, we have this passion for always sharing a meal together, and that brings people together.
Whitney Burney reporting. For more information on both restaurants, you can head over to woodtv.com. Up next, after the break, we'll show you how the Kent County Sheriff's Office is pushing to diversify the police force with its Latinx Police Academy.
Plus, from humble beginnings to education leader, we're talking with the president of Kalamazoo College about his journey to West Michigan. Welcome back. We want to highlight some important figures in West Michigan's Hispanic community. Current Kalamazoo College president Jorge Gonzalez is the school's first ever Hispanic president, and his story from Mexico to educator and leader is an interesting one. News 8's Ruben Juarez has this story.
Growing up in Monterrey, Mexico, Jorge Gonzalez knew he wanted to make an impact on society. He aspired to work in government, but his collegiate studies in the U.S. reshaped his plan. He ventured into education and found fulfillment. His role in the classroom ultimately leading him to West Michigan. Gonzalez is Kalamazoo College's first Hispanic president.
Coming to Kalamazoo College is like winning the lottery.
Jorge Gonzalez doesn't take his role at K College lightly, but growing up in Monterrey, Mexico, he had a different vision.
What I wanted to do when I grew up was to work in the government. I wanted to develop better economic policies to produce more growth, because I knew more growth would reduce poverty, would increase the standard of living.
While in college in Mexico, Gonzalez studied abroad for a year in Wisconsin.
I needed to improve my English, and I wanted to meet people that are different from me.
Gonzalez returned home, finished his bachelor's at Monterey Tech, then came back to the States to earn a PhD in economics at Michigan State. In his fourth year in East Lansing, he was offered an opportunity to teach.
As a result of that experience, my whole life plan changed. And I said, forget about working in the government. What I want to be is a professor of economics. So to me, that opportunity to teach a class was like an internship, because I was given for a short period of time a chance to try something different.
He eventually taught economics at Trinity University in San Antonio for more than 20 years.
At that point, I was in my mid-40s, and I did an internship in college administration. Once again, that internship changed my life.
The internship at Pomona College in California led to an administrative role at Occidental College in Los Angeles. 6 years later, Gonzalez got a call from K College to be president.
Kalamazoo College believes in personal education, which is what I've been doing all my life as a professor. Kalamazoo College believes in experiential education, in sending students abroad, in having students do internships, in having students engage with the community.
As president, Gonzalez has a number of goals for K College, including making school affordable and setting an example for Hispanic students thinking about attending college.
We have one of the highest percentages, if not the highest, of Latinos and Latinas of any college and university in the state of Michigan.
Ruben Juarez reporting. Gonzalez says that Hispanic students at K College are not just from Michigan, they're also from all over the U.S. with large Hispanic populations like Southern California and South Texas.
The Kent County Sheriff's Office recently celebrated graduating their first class of students from their Latinx Police Academy. News 8's Whitney Burney spoke with the Sheriff's Office about why this program is important for the community.
A group of more than a dozen people spent 6 weeks learning what it's like to be a Kent County Sheriff's deputy as a part of a pilot Latinx Police Academy.
At first, it seems like some people were kind of hesitant with the deputy presence, but then once they actually get to know us, we have great conversations.
Sergeant Oswaldo Hernandez, who is Puerto Rican, one of several Latinx officers heading up the program.
We can provide transparency and also break down some barriers, like the language barriers that we have, so they will be able to ask questions and learn about our program.
Students met once a week to learn about traffic stops, forensics, and take jail tours. The program is similar to the Citizens Academy, but this one is taught 100% in Spanish.
Honestly, I have never been in a room where so many officers looked like me and talked like me and were able to share that same language.
A total of 15 students made it through the ranks. Jose Salinas was one of them.
It was just incredible because, all the things, the other sides that we see from law enforcement, I think we tend to focus a lot on the negative side.
The Sheriff's Department says their goal is to learn from the community they serve and bridge the gap.
Education is definitely important. Seeing, how they, where our law enforcement is coming from, I think it's important.
Officers hopeful that along the way they'll convince a few more to join them in protecting and serving.
I do understand that there is some mistrust there, And this is part of us moving forward, them coming to this program and understanding the challenges we face or what our department's all about. Once they get to know us, I'm sure that it might change some people's minds.
If we have people that have had the same lived experience as us, I think they have a better understanding of how to work with people of color, you know, in our communities, and having that better understanding will definitely make relationships much stronger.
The department says they hope to host the program again next year. In Grand Rapids, Whitney Burney, News 8.
Coming up next, we introduce you to the man behind some of the murals you'll see in downtown Grand Rapids.
Hear what he says about his journey from working in the fields to having his work featured in one of the world's largest art competitions.
Welcome back. We told you about him earlier in our special. The artist behind the mural of Morelia Ortiz Blakely is no stranger to the art scene in Grand Rapids.
In fact, if you've driven on Fulton Street downtown, chances are you've seen the vibrant artwork from Arturo Morales Romero. News 8's Ruben Juarez has his story.
His latest piece is called
Aztlán. And well, that means the people from the town of dreams.
The mural, located outside Mexo in downtown Grand Rapids, is Arturo's art prize entry. The artist, no stranger to competition.
I always challenge myself. I try to do something bigger and bigger and bigger.
Measuring 15 by 92 feet, Aztlán is his largest piece to date. Arturo using his artwork to share the story of indigenous cultures from Central America and Mexico.
Right here, well, we have the last emperor, which was Cuauhtémoc. Cuauhtémoc, he was the last one to fight against the conquerors.
The entire timeline depicting history from 1500 BC to present day, as seen with this girl holding a tablet and a nurse during the COVID pandemic. His work gaining admirers.
Perfect.
It took the Guerrero, Mexico native 265 hours to complete the piece. Morales Romero showing up day after day after his 9 to 5 for weeks to finish the job. Arturo has lived in West Michigan for 7 years, but only started gaining attention for his art a couple of years ago, painting canvas pieces inside Mexo. A muralist since his teenage years in California.
And that's what we did on the summers, just, you know, whenever I was not working on the fields.
Morales Romero got a chance to show off his skills in GR earlier this year when he painted a mural of Molly Ortiz Blakely, a historical figure in Grand Rapids' Hispanic community. Arturo has come a long way from his humble roots in Mexico, where he found his passion for art as a 5-year-old.
It was while I was playing on the water. In there we had pebbles that were like very soft, and whenever I stepped on it, the colors they mixed. So that's when I started having that kind of curiosity for that kind of you know, like mixture of paint. So that's when I started painting.
Ruben Juarez reporting. Arturo is currently working on his next project inside a supermarket, a mural depicting cultural aspects of Mexico's 32 states.
Still ahead for us after this break, how a group of musicians in West Michigan are using tradition and pride to provide catchy tunes for just about any event you can think of.
As we close out our special celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, we want to take a look at the deep culture of Hispanic music.
Music is a source of pride and entertainment for one family, and News 8's Ruben Juarez introduces us to them and shows us how the group's founder is passing down his passion.
Getting on stage and putting on a show, an indescribable feeling for Miguel Angel Divas.
My heart. This is that I feel from my heart. I can explain that one, but it's love.
Los Atravidos norteños willing to play anywhere. Funerals, quinceañeras, birthdays, any kind of fiesta.
Invite people to go and dance with us and stuff like that. It's an amazing feeling being able to just, you know, transmit your music.
Miguel Angel picked up his passion for music in his native Guatemala, where he watched his grandfathers play instruments and sing.
That's beautiful. See the old men doing something and I feeling that I can do it better.
He said his sights on learning how to play the guitar.
I can be tired, but if I got my guitar by my side, I pick up and I play.
Years later, now living in the U.S., he decided to form a group of his own, Los Atravidos Norteños. Pepe Milian sings and plays the guitarrón, Eduardo Rojas Lopez on accordion, and his daughter, Sherlyn, sings and plays the vihuela.
Similar to guitar, it's a lot louder and it only has 5 strings compared to a guitar that has 6.
Sherlyn has been in the group for more than half of her life. The daughter, fascinated with the father's group right from the get-go.
The guys would go to the house, they would practice, and I would just be there sitting around, maybe just, kind of watching them, and then kind of behind his back, I would go and kind of just like touch it and grab it and try to do like similar things that I saw him do, and then I just watched videos.
Miguel Angel recognized her interest, and when a band member couldn't show up to a gig,
so he told me, hey, do you think you could at least just kind of cover at least like the spot? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go. So I'm like in like flip-flops, a dress, like a normal girl, like just living life. So we went to this party and everyone was looking at me like, that's not who I saw with you guys last time.
The gig, a de facto audition. She passed and became an official member at 7.
It's funny how some people, that have booked us from before even tell me like, oh my God, I remember when we booked you guys for so-and-so's party and you were so small and like you didn't really sing. Like it was like you would sing, but it wasn't as loud as it is now.
That'll do it for us on this special broadcast to mark Hispanic Heritage Month.
You'll be able to watch all of these stories over on our website at woodtv.com.